two to that Briggs and Stratton right there. This is called a Primal Pulse carburetor. It's got the primer on the side. Now, the older Briggs, I think they were late 70s, early 80s, had a choke-o-matic, which actually did the choking for you. As you can see here, there's no choke in that hole. And they were adjustable with a screw right here. This don't. All it's got is a primer on the front. Now, there's 3 screws here and 2 screws here. What you're going to do is you're going to clean around this the best you can, all the way around, so that you don't get a lot of, I'm knocking crap everywhere, so you don't get a lot of dirt in your carburetor. Then you're going to unscrew those, and you're going to lift up very carefully. If it don't break free real easy, take a screwdriver, put it right here, and just pry up a little bit. It comes right off. Now you pull this straight up, and there's that right there. You just tilt it sideways to get it out. And yes, that's full of oil. This whole gas tank's full of oil. The motor was laying on its side, and all the oil drained into the gas tank through the carburetor. Okay, now that we got this aside, I'm going to show you what goes wrong with these if I can. Get some of this oil off here so you can see real good. I'm not left-handed. Alright, hopefully that'll be enough. If you look at the edge of this gasket right here where my finger is, you can see part of it has sunken in. There's actually not two gaskets. One's a diaphragm and one's a gasket, which I'll show you in a minute. But if you look at that real careful right there, you can see the bottom gasket's in its normal place, and the diaphragm is actually moved inwards. Nowhere else on the carburetor does it do that but right there. Now the rebuild kits for these carburetors are only $5. And this is only like a 10-minute job, so it's nothing major. I'll go ahead and pull these off and show you. And this screen right here just pulls right off. And the kit will include that. See if I can get these off of here in one piece. There we go. Well, I kind of ripped this one, but hey, it'll be alright. I'm not using it anyway. There's a spring right there. That also comes in a rebuild kit. And so far, all these Briggs and Stratton gaskets for these carburetors and diaphragms, I've been able to get at my local hardware store. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift this off of here. Now this spring right here pushes on the diaphragm right here. As you can see, that's pretty bulged out. And it's kind of stiff, which it shouldn't be. But that one spot right there is the cause of most Briggs and Stratton carburetor problems, because these carburetors can be put through hell and they still work. Now, there's two, like I say, there's a diaphragm and a gasket. Let's see if I can split these. A lot of times they don't work very well, taking them off after they've been used. Oh yeah, it's coming right off. Now I forgot to grab my rebuild kit, but I don't want to do it anyway since all this is covered in oil and I got to clean it all before I do this. This hole right here, you want to spray it out real good with carb cleaner, and this, you want to spray it out real good, and you want to spray in that hole and that hole real good with carb cleaner. Make sure they're good and clean. You want to make sure this is clean. Clean it off real good. As you can see, this one's got junk all over it. Anyway, you want to spray that down till it looks clean and then blow through it to make sure it's clean. You want to replace your spring, and if you twist these to the right, they come right off. And just twist them to the right and push them back on. They go right back on. And your screen, you just pull that off and throw a new screen on it. Now, when you get your kit, you're going to have your diaphragm, which is this thing, and you'll know by these tabs right here. This tab right here, and this tab right here. And you take your carburetor or your gas tank, line up the two big holes. I don't know how well you can see that. Just line up your two big holes, make sure all your screw holes are right, and it should fit perfect. And then you're going to take your next gasket, you're going to line up your two holes again, these two holes. This one will be cut out for the diaphragm. Set that on there. Line them up all pretty good with the screws. Take your cleaned carburetor, stick it through the hole, and then straight down. Now you just take all your screws, stick them back in. You don't want to force them in. When you're putting them in, you want to jiggle it around like that to make sure that your gasket's lined up with all the screws. Now I'm not going to put this back together right now, but I am going to show you what Briggs and Stratton did in their new kits. This is the spot that's always blown out, and I think it's probably because of this diaphragm. In their new kits, they have a lip right here that comes out. It actually extends past the gasket, kind of like that. That way, it never slips under again and causes problems. Anyway, that's part 2. There won't be a part 3, but I'll show this mower starting up for the first time in who knows how long. Well, I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. If not, oh well. Anyway, just take your time with it and you should be good to go. Thanks.